John 3:13 makes clear why everyone else is on some worm ass bitch shit. My parents are blameless, and I'm different than everyone else. No one has gone up to heaven except me and the true warrior spirit of God. It's Proverbs 30, I believe it is. Proverbs 34, if I remember correctly. It's in the warrior spirit of God. My hands gathered up the wind. We've shown you Isaiah and the various scriptures where it makes it clear what that means. It means in the warrior spirit. It means to trample them. It means to use your sword and your bow. The transferable skills from the idea of being the warrior spirit of God, applying these things. And these things obviously are superimposed on hand-to-hand combat, which is the real warrior spirit of God. A bow is an example of technology. It gets confusing, has to do with mind states, but at the end of the day, people on some bitch ass shit, okay? They think there's more than one form of Jesus and they can act like a bitch and life is worth living. That by itself is despicable. They literally think because Horus had different forms, and of course they were all fake but one, that they can pretend, they can go to church and pretend that they're right with God. Okay, by pretending that Jesus is some fairy Englishman, some fairy Jew, some fairy Germanic looking person. They have various variations of the same kind of crypto kind of synagogue of Satan line is how they're best described, because by their actions, right? If a Jew is a serial killer, he's a monster. If a Jew family insists that their image is the image of God, they're monsters. They should have went out of their way to say, hey, don't use that image, to make it clear what's going on. They didn't do that. They certainly didn't do that in a reasonable time. If they do it in the future, they're monsters. People who look like that are fucking horrible, horrible people. Not necessarily saying all Jews. Okay, I'm not going to put my opinion of all Jews in this video for various reasons. Anyway, so when we look at this thing, right, this is a nation, a planet, where I have to explain to these bitches why the idea of the top samurai ever, okay, for example, is not the same as the top martial artist, okay, is superior to the bullies from Simpsons, bitch-ass motherfuckers, to Smithers, to Homer Simpson, okay? The Simpsons is basically based on American characters, and they're basically somewhat superior to European characters and personalities because they're a bunch of cocky Prince Humperdinck-ass motherfuckers that never did the right thing, okay? This is just the facts. You know, no one wants to admit these things because they're on some bitch-ass shit. They're on some fucking... There's no words for the type of bitch-ass shit they're on, okay? They're on some punk-ass shit. They never grew up. They never will grow up. Their kids will never grow up. We know who's especially bitch by who has kids under the age of, say, 5 or 10 or something. We'll call it really the 7, 2014 or so. It became apparent in the last 6, 7 years or so that people are on some extreme bitch shit. So people have kids under the age of 6 or 7. People were born in 2014 or later. We look at their parents, know they're on some bitch-ass, sniveling, fucking punk-ass hoe shit. The only people who have some semblance of sense are people who stop reproducing. Okay, what the fuck? You want to continue the rape and murder and the drugging and exploitation? What for? You call that being a human being? And you're fucking monsters. You're all monsters. You're abominations. You're wordplay bitches. You have to insult people like beta fucking nerds. You think a nerd interpretation of the Bible is good enough to live by? It's just fucking stupid. I see nerds. I see brutes. I see mediocre, sniveling, lukewarm worms. Not even lukewarm, just fucking scum.